Alright, it's a balmy, I think it's about 6 degrees in Adelaide this morning. It is freezing. It was 2 at my house when I got up this morning. Anyway, this week's video is about wheels and tyres. More so wheels, because I get asked about offset all the time. So I've got a bunch of cars all lined up. I'll go through what suspension, rims and tyres on each one of them, do some of the measurements. See, I'm shivering. And talk to you a little bit about offset of what's legal and how far you can push it. All right, here we go. We'll go straight into it. Series 1 TIL. This has got on track 2-inch lift, and we're sitting at, I just measured them all, they're sitting at like 580, about 560 this one, so it's come down a little bit at the back, there's heaps in it. These have got the, I'll come back to the offset, but these have got hustlers on them with a standard sort of 33-inch tyre. This one, so it's got the Cobra bar on it. By the way, if you've got a Cobra bar or any heavier bar, the weight pushes them down when you've got bar and winch, so it will scrub the tyres. These are 295 Yokies, but then as soon as you do a coil lift on them, it comes up again. So that's sitting at 570 at the front, and I think 575 rear, so you usually get 35, 40 mil. But that's what a 295 looks like on this. We're doing this to show you the offset part on a stock rim. It tucks in nicely, whereas we'll go to this one. This is the Hustler. This is a +20 offset, but with the standard size tyre. It's, I don't even know what size these are, 265 70/18, so that is the bog stock standard. Keep coming down here. This is one we're just fitting up, so it hasn't been wheel aligned or anything at the moment, but this is sitting 570 front, 590 rear, although it's got to settle a little bit. So this is a Tough Dog coil lift, and then at the back, because this guy's going to be doing a fair bit of towing, we've put the new dash tow coils in. Well, sorry about the dirty diesel sound in the background, but what happens when you lift these cars, and the rim is a +40 offset standard, and it'll be standard on the back of the rim, I'll show you in a minute, but +40, when you lift them, it sucks them in. It's like they've missed leg day. We're changing the rims and tyres on these shortly, like probably today or tomorrow, to a 275 Mickey Thompson. So it's going to end up being that 33.2-inch sort of diameter. But the rims we're going for is a +25, and I really want to show you the difference a bit later on how it fills this gap here, because this is like red to a bull. Like, just, we need to fill that up. It doesn't look right. Definitely missed leg day going on. This hasn't got the rims and tyres on it, but we'll start to talk about flares. So these are the new extreme flares, and they give you up to about 40 mil extra. So at the moment this does also look like it's missed leg day, but once we put the rims and tyres on it, it's going to really like pump it out and make it look tough. Next one on here, so again, this is stock tyres, series 4 295 Geolanders. Look, they're just on the margin. Now the reason why I'm showing you all of these, because probably Steve's going to rock up soon, and he's got the +20 offset on his car, the Hustlers, and he's got the same Geolanders. You'll see the difference because it'll start to pump out a little bit further, and that's when you need to start talking about flares. And then when Sharon gets here with my car, then I'll show you what it looks like with the extreme offsets that you can go to as far as -12. All right, we just got to wait for everyone else to thaw out and come to work. All right, how do you work out what offset your current rims are? Well, I'm going to show you on this one on the back of a Razzler bar, because it's kind of easy, because we can see underneath it. But so if you go to the back of the rim here, it's got all these little numbers written on it. So we're going to look at this one. Can you see it? Just here. That says 40. So that's the offset of your stock Series 5 rim. Somewhere in here it'll say like the rating of it as well, because you know these cars that go and get GVM upgrades to say 4.085 tonne, I can't actually find it on this one, even like frost coming off my breath, they'll go and get a rim that isn't rated to match the GVM upgrade. So that your engineer will pick that up from a mile away. They check it every time they come and do a GVM upgrade. So if you're thinking about methods, for example, not all of them are rated for like a ton per rim. So anyway, have a look at that when if you're considering GVM upgrades. All right, Steve's followed suit here. This is what we're here to look at. So now we've got plus 20, I think these are, with the 295 Yokies on them. And then they're just in. All right, now let's do the broom test. All right, there we go. They are just inside. So without the flares, I think we'd be in trouble. Morning.
Morning. What are you doing?
Well, we've got to measure, got to clean up our game around here with this broom.
Oh, the neighbours are not going to like us.
We're doing the wheel offset challenge here. All right, we need my car to rock up next, but you can see how it's looking. There we go. Sliders match it perfect too. Look at that. There's like the little knobbly bit hanging out. Maybe that's it. All right. Now we just need Sharon to rock up, and we can finish this vid. Right, we've moved the cars, and Sharon's rocked up because we did get in a bit of trouble with our open day a few weeks back. Turns out we had to have a permit because we had so many people here, and I didn't know I was going to have this many people here. But yeah, we got a bit in trouble with the neighbours, so we put all the cars back into the car parks, not in the middle, bothering everyone. But anyway, again, another for here's what not to do. This is my car, and the offset I've got on here, I'm running plus 8 at the front. How have I achieved that? I've been a bit naughty. I've done it with a wheel spacer, because when I bought these wheels from Simmons, I said, oh, can I just like order one, do a test fit, because I love the rim, but if it doesn't fit, can I send them back? So I bought one, test fitted it, and guess what? It hit the calipers. And this is a very common thing for Series 5s. If we have a look at the brakes on here, so this is an oil line, this like little lump, and it's, there you go, it's bigger in a Series 5 than a Series 1 to 4. And so you only get like minimal clearance there. So if you're getting like some of the methods, for example, they fit a Series 1 to 4. Put them on a Series 5, doesn't clear. And I've seen people machine the brakes, machine the wheels, do all sorts of things to make the wheels fit. I got around it by putting a wheel spacer, because I bought one, I'm like, oh, I love the rim, I might as well put them all on. So these are a plus 18 rim, and I put a 10mm wheel spacer. And that's how it looks. So you absolutely need flares for this one. The slimline flares didn't really cut it, so I went for the extreme flares, and they cover it quite nicely. So I love the look of this, to be honest. At the back, yeah, I admit I was even naughtier again, because I wanted to punch these tyres out as much as possible. So like seeing what the extremes are. So at the back, we've got negative 12, I believe. Again, done with wheel spacers, which is really naughty, and I have broken studs, and you shouldn't do it. But this is what it looks like. This is why we got this is the new Big O wide slider as well, because I wanted it to match the wheel as it came out, because the normal sliders looked a bit tiny, but I really wanted to go for that fat stance. So that's what was done, and it sits nicely. Alright, there you go. So what I do want to do is, if you're picking wheels, so what we can take away from this, the offset legally is between plus 15 and up. If you're going to pick a 285 or 265, 285, you probably need to, or even up to 295, you don't need flares. If you go past 295, that's when you need to get some sort of flares, maybe like what Steve's got on here, the slimline flares. They just give an extra 12mm. But that's talking standard rims. When you go to a bigger rim, so you go to a plus 20, and that's when you have to start talking. And 295s on a plus 20, that's when you need to start looking at flares, because the engineer won't let you do the GVM upgrade, and the cops will, you know, if you get a picky cop, they're gonna like call you out on it. One of the cars today is getting a plus 25, which is an unusual offset for patrols, and also a 275 Mickey Thompson bar jar AT. So again, an unusual size. So we're going to fit them up now, and then I'll show you that. And then I think we've shown you like all the different rims and offsets that you can get on a Y62. Alright, we've got the wheels on now, have a look. This is what the 275s Mickey Thompsons look like with the plus 25 offset. Now the big test is, and we've been planning, the plan is to get this type of wheel, plus 25, on a 275 or 285 tyre to stick inside the guard, because what happens is when the engineer or the nice policeman comes up to see if this is a legal vehicle or not, they want to see if the wheel touches the bottom, top, and it also needs to touch the guard. Here's the big test. Oh, there's probably like 5 mil in it, and you know what it is. It's this Mickey Thompson bar jar tyre that's got these massive, busy sort of side lugs. That's the 5 mil that I'm missing out on, because when you do the maths on this, it would work. But because Mickey Thompson's put this bloody big lug on here, it hasn't worked, and this wheel failed. So I'm gonna have to work out another solution. But if you had any other tyre besides a Mickey Thompson bar jar Boss AT, a plus 25 would have sat inside the guard. How annoying. So I guess as we're talking about legalities, the total track that you are allowed to expand on one of these cars, or anything for South Australia, is 50 mil. So that means we could have gone to a 15 offset either side, but the tyre has to stick in. The tyre can't stick out that far. So keep that in mind as well. So this being plus 25, it should have passed easy, but don't get one with a big lug on the side. Anyway, alright, that's this video out. I hope you've learned something about offsets. I definitely have learned something about tyres when considering offsets as well today. So that was a little learn for me. Alright, we're out. See you next week on YouTube. Yeah.